Yo. All right. I figured I would try a different way to see if I could do my daily recaps, but kind of do them live, especially when I have a little bit of time here in the end of the day. And yeah, I could do it and then maybe even take a trade. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think anybody should be here because the channel is small, but if anybody is here, give me one in the chat. If you can hear me okay, everything on my end looks to be pretty good. I'll definitely be taking a Q&A. And I'm going to go through my trades for the day so far. Crazy day. We can see over here this candle. And then more good news from Trump saying that he was going to get rid of that ultimatum that he gave Iran today. So that's good news as well. Pretty much been hugging around VWAP now for a better part of the morning. Once we got down there and touched it about noon, been hanging out there. Pretty much for a trade, I'm waiting to get up towards the plus ones. That would be my next spot. Hear the stream in my pocket. All right. So yeah. So it sounds like we have good audio. So the next thing I'd really be waiting for is touch up here at the plus ones. That'd be an opportunity to go short, or down here at the minus ones. Until then, pretty much not going to be doing much of anything. I do have a couple trades on for today. And also, because I wasn't here on Thursday, Friday, maybe I can go back to Thursday, Friday and show you what I did. I had a max loss day last Friday. So let me see if I can go backwards here. Why is that not working? First, we'll do today's trades. Going back to the early morning. My first trade was actually on the ES. And I'll talk about why my first trade was on the ES. So if we see on this left, this is the 30-minute time frame. So we have Friday's high and Friday's low. I tend not to want to take shorts when we are what we say outside day. So outside of yesterday's range, which was really Friday, to the upside, because things can rip. Now with seat time and things like that, you start to figure out that, okay, sometimes it's okay. And this was an anomaly that shot us up this high. So I knew once we had this big wick and then a little bit of time even before the market opened, that was an opportunity for me to take some trades, but to be very, very strict with my entries. If we look at the ES, it wasn't outside day up, which is why I started on the ES today. So we have the range from Friday high and low. It wicked up in the morning, but when I entered the trade, we were still not out. So that's kind of why I started on the ES. So let me go back to 9:30. It was pretty much right after the market opened. See if I can just grab this thing and pull it. So let me pull the thing today. It's really annoying. Oh, there it is. So let me just zoom up here. So even though it's a different instrument, the goal is really the same. So this was, we pulled up into it, and I kind of wanted to see what was going to happen. Once we came back down and we got another touch, I'm like, all right. And I will say I was kind of, hey, what's going on, Trading Mommy? What caused the pump this morning? So what caused the pump this morning was, I think there was initial news that Trump was happy with the negotiations over the weekend, and that he was going to be looking to pull that ultimatum that he had for tonight for them to open the strait, which actually just came out a little while ago that he did confirm that he pulled that ultimatum for Iran. But that first initial pump in the morning was, yeah, that we had good talks, or he posted that he had good talks over the weekend, which drove oil back down, and it drove the market back up here, which was absolutely insane. So I was a little bit nervous to take the ES. I've been trading primarily the Dow. So now that I'm on the ES, I'm a little bit more cautious. So we came up, we touched the plus one just like I wanted, and I was able to take shorts. And like I said, being so close to out of day up here, if we come, I'm on a global, we can see that I was pretty much just about outside day up there. So that's when I was like, All right, we're going to try and get in. I'm going to keep things nice and tight. So I have my 233 EMA here. I was looking to take that trade and hit that nicely. I think that put me up like $30. This was one micro on the ES. I'm only trading micros. Then the market continued for a little bit, and I thought about taking this trade. Let's see if I can find my entry over here. So then I was looking over here onto the Dow, which is my primary instrument that I like to trade. And I'll go over to the 30-minute. Like I said, we were a little bit outside day up, so I wasn't like super pumped on it, but it is what it is. I got my late entry here. So it came down and I was really just being a wimp. I took a red day on Friday. You can't hear me? You can hear me? You can't. Let me see. Let me test here. Can hear me? Let me see. No, I can hear me. I can hear me. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Is that? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Dave, what's up? Oh, Guitars with Adam. You're a TG, a Traders Dev Group guy. What's up, Adam? Okay. Is that a little bit better? Thank you guys for letting me know. Sorry. Sorry about that. First stream on the new computer. So let me know if that's a little bit better, please. I'd appreciate it. So after taking the red day on Friday, I was just like a little bit being a wimp, if I'm being honest with you. And it's always hard to get into the markets after a red day. Thank you for letting me know, Trading Mommy. I appreciate you. And please ask any questions too, because I'm a teacher. I love to talk. So after that red day, and then I had that green trade, and I was like, okay, I thought about after that first ES trade and being up $30 on the day, I was like, let's just put that max loss day by. But I had to get back in, and I had to get back on the horse, and that's essentially what you do. So I got a little bit of a late entry here. I was going to target VWAP here and see exactly what we could do. Kind of did good, went against me a little bit, and now I'm just trying to figure out when I'm going to re-add. I thought about re-adding here, but like I said, with the uncertainty in the market this morning, I was erring on the side of being conservative, if I'm being honest. Yeah, the Friday flush, I couldn't keep up, and it was one of those days. I wish my mouse would let me, just for whatever reason, it's not letting me pull today. I'll scroll back to Friday, and I'll just show you. It was one of those days where I just couldn't keep up. I couldn't defend the goal. I was taking graceful exits and then re-adding, taking graceful exits and re-adding, and then just over time, I lost it. So after the little uncertainty here, I was like, all right, I'm going to keep watching, see what happens. Then once we established these little swings here, I thought to myself, all right, we're in a situation now where I feel the market now has been open for, the market hadn't been open yet. It was 8:52. I was like, things seem to have slowed down. I'm prepared to take that trade. So I took one right up here into these swings, and then I covered here, and then I covered here. I was focusing on the second cover to be right in this zone here, and I pretty much nailed that. And that got me to, on the day, there's Bookmap. That got me to 62.50 on the day. So that's where I'm at on the day, 62.50. And I'm still watching, see what happens, but I'm perfectly okay with the 62.50, especially after taking a $210 hit on Friday. Let me see if I can get back all the way to Friday. I'm not sure if Ninja, how long they hold them for, but I'm not even going to be able to find this, to be honest, with everything being crazy with that 800-point candle. I'm not even going to be able to find that Friday. But yeah, the flush, I just couldn't handle it. I tried, and it was just one of those days where it just kept going against me, and it was never going to stop. Because it was only one day back. Let me see. I just don't know why. Oh, there it is. 10:52, 9 a.m. This was probably the other day. So when did that happen? The trades were, oh, there they all are. Okay. So actually this is a great example. We could show Friday exactly how what a max loss a day kind of looks like for me. So first entry at the -2s, super happy with that trade. Was going to be targeting, at this point, I'm probably targeting this swing, if I'm being honest with myself. And took another entry here. So now, it took another one here. So now I'm long 2. Now I'm here long 3. I don't want to be long more than 3 in any scenario. So now I'm looking for a graceful exit. So I took a graceful exit here. And then I added. So now I'm trying to just drop this down. I took a graceful exit, and then I added. Took a graceful exit, and then here's where things really got ugly. And this is the brutal part that I wish I said I don't want to be more than 3. And this is a scenario, I guess, where I broke my rule. This right here was my 4th ad, and it just kept going against me. So I got out at 210 or 220, I think, with a max loss for the day of maybe I'm looking at like 250. If I would have held till 250, I just missed it, and then it pumped the rest of the day. But, talking to my mentors and talking to people, if you could just hold forever, right, the markets are going to go up. Like, watching this was terrible. It was really, really bad. That was the hardest part. The hardest part was watching it immediately just come back in and then get the touch and then go all the way to VWAP. But like I said, if we could hold on forever, it's always going to go up to VWAP eventually. It's always going to go up. The market's always going to go up over time. So I have to remember that it doesn't matter if it happened in 30 minutes. And like I said, it was just a battle. Like, we battled for this long. I got into that at 1:45, and I finally didn't get out until 3:45 pretty much. So 2 hours. And then to watch over the next 10 minutes it go all the way up to VWAP, that was pretty brutal. But it was a max loss day, and I take a couple of those, 1 or 2 of those a month, and they happen on weird anomalies, and that's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes sometimes. You got to take the red. It sucks taking the red on a Friday too, and having to sit on it all weekend. But yeah, that's what happened. I sometimes get asked about the Bookmap. I don't use them for entries. I'm pretty much just using the 30-minute time frame and the bands for my entries. I will use Bookmap for my exits. We see large order blocks. They tend to be, magnets. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger over here. Like, if we look down here, there's a good chance like we'll see 563 in my opinion, right? Just with this block here, they tend to be magnets, especially when there's nothing above. Like right now, when we have order blocks here and we have order blocks there, it kind of just lets me know we're probably going to chop, and then eventually it's going to try and pick entries, just exits. Now, also because I'm trading prop firm accounts here and simulated accounts, that I do need to be flat at the end of the day. So I'm going to make sure that I'm pretty much not going to be entering trades past like 3 p.m. I pick up my kids from the bus at 3:15, and then it's their time for the rest of the day. So because I can't hold any trades into the close, I'm going to be flat at pretty much 3 o'clock. But I figured with doing live updates every single day, it might be easier just to go live and answer some questions as the channel grows, and especially as I show this, because God knows I've tried everything from Tories, trend lines to, I never got into the ICT BS, but I've really tried everything over the last couple of years. Scalping was very, very good for me, but I didn't like that. It felt like a coin flip every time. Been doing this particular strategy now for a little over a month now. I'd say 6 weeks. And I just never feel like I'm in a lot of trouble. I never feel like it's a coin flip. I always feel like statistics and strategies on my side, which is very, very comforting. I like that a lot. And I like the simplicity of it. Like, wait till it touches the line and you're good to go. Right now I'm trading 7 prop firm accounts. I did get all my Apex accounts taken away from me for asking the CEO a couple questions that he took as threats, I guess. I don't know. But I will be adding, I think, 5 more this week. We'll see. And then I also am trading on 3 live accounts as well. So a total of 10. That's kind of why I did the 2 others, because I wanted a total of 10. So I got 3 live accounts going, and I with my live accounts, I keep them right the same as the prop accounts. So every single month I bring the balance back down to 2,500, and then whatever my profit is at the end of the month, I take all that out of my live accounts, and every single month I just reset them at the $2,500 mark. Same as the, I guess now with the, I'm doing 25K evals. I think all of my evals are 25K. So I am doing 25K evals, but I'm treating them mostly because I've been doing really, really well with my max losses and my daily win rates, that I'm still treating them like 2,500, but my max drawdown actually is 1,000. Just plugging in here. I've never had a PC before. This is a PC. Let's see if that works. Yeah, the 25K accounts have $1,000 drawdown. And I thought about doing like the traditional 10% that the guy Rod that's developed a strategy and helped me out with that. But to have only $100 daily risk budget would be really, really tough. It's just hard. You got to give yourself the ability. So once I realized that, I'm having max loss days 2 times a month, 3 times a month, maybe. I feel really comfortable. And I know that I'm very, very disciplined when it comes to that stop. Like I'm not a guy that ever really blew up accounts because of not managing risk. I would say, and I'm going to do a video on this soon, I think I've done maybe 30 prop accounts, and 90% of the accounts that got blown were leaving orders because I was using Trade of 8. And when you're group trading on Trade of 8, I was just doing Apex. So I'd have like 20 Apex accounts and I was just group trading them, which was awesome. But with the group trade, you couldn't do ATMs. So 90% of the things that I blew up was when I left a standing order and I didn't realize I had an order. And then I woke up in the morning and it had come and hit that and liquidated me. That's literally 90% of the accounts I've blown up. And then I would say another 8% was just a losing streak. I just lost every single day until it was gone. And then 2%, but I'm not really a go on tilt guy. I'm not really a revenge trader guy. I'm doing this as a hobby. The money is not the hugest thing in the world. I have a real job. So I don't really go on tilt. When I hit my max loss, and it becomes a lot easier to hit your max loss when you have confidence that you're going to mostly be green. Like I think in the month of March, my win rate is like 85%. So even though my daily wins are small, like $62 compared to a max loss day of 200, they're small. I'm working on holding trades longer. That's what I'm trying to develop and get my trades up a little bit and be a little bit more profitable that way. But, I'm confident that I'm not going to have 4 max loss days in a row, which is why I can go up a little bit. I also close out days. So I'm a very big statistics guy. I take my average win-loss rate, or like what my average P&L is over a 20-day rolling period. And then I do one standard deviation because I'm a statistics guy above and below, which is kind of why I love this. Can't believe I never heard of VWAP bands before. So let's say, for example, my daily win rate is 7, like with my reds and my greens, everything is $70 a day. I'll go down 32% and up 32%. And if I am profitable that day in that standard deviation, I am no longer taking ones. And if I am above my average green day, then, I'm done for the day. If I'm in the deviation, but it's below my average rolling day, like win days, then I'll take some twos. But I hate giving money back. Friday's max loss day, I was up $75. And that was another part that sting. Going green to red really stinks. But, I was also preparing for these to be funded. And in the funded accounts I have to make sure that I am hitting $100, depending on what firm you're using. With the 25K accounts, I got to hit $500 days. So I've been really practicing that. But what I'm realizing with that is just like my max loss days happening infrequently, those big $125 days, those are also going to be maybe once or twice a week, which is fine because it's going to take me a couple weeks to get to a payout anyway. So I stopped worrying about I'm at 70, I need to get to 100. Like today being 62.50, I might have forced some trades here during the day. I'm not sure maybe where I would have forced one. Let me see. Yeah, after covering here and being out for 62.50, it's tough to see, but I mean, this is kind of I guess, forward testing that Rod talks about. Yeah, I should have been back in here, right? I should have been back in here. Friday's still living rent-free in my head. I should have been in here. I would have taken virtually no drawdown, and we would have hit target. Now, I don't think I have it in me just yet to be holding all the way to VWAP. I probably would have held here. I think at the time, developing POC was down here, was up here somewhere. It was right here. So we can kind of see this big volume right here. So I think that's where, if I would have got in, that's probably would have been where my realistic target was. It's easy for me in hindsight to be like, oh, look, yeah, I would have hit VWAP. I do not have it in me yet to hold that long. I just don't. I'm going to be honest with you. But ever since then, there hasn't been anything else to take. Thanks so much. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Or just say what's up. Let me know how you're doing. I'm working on a spreadsheet to take the emotional side out of trading, mostly yes, no, about yes. And I mean, let me see if, I don't know. Let me see how I can work this with the stream. If I drag this in here, yeah, you can see that. Okay, hold on. Let me show you my spreadsheet. Yeah, that's that too. There's no way to know exactly what the heck would have actually happened today. I feel like it could have just retraced that whole move back down. Who knows what would have happened. So this is kind of the spreadsheet that I'm keeping. And I don't mind if you guys see it. I just don't want to say anybody's names. But this has been this combine this entire time. There's that. It's 262. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I'm an asshole. But the things that I keep track of are how many days I've been trading, how much more I need to pass. I do a pass prediction just to give myself a timeline on when I want to buy more evals. So this is just the profit along my average win. I keep track of my average high wins over a rolling 20-day period. I keep track of my consistency. Then down here, I have my total profit for that particular prop, the average green days, the average red days. You can see that big discrepancy, but when my win rate is 90%, 85, 90%, I tend to be okay. Right now, green days is 90% inside this. Only 11-day sample, but I could tell you that's kind of where it's been. But here's where I'm talking about my -1, +1 standard deviation. So my daily average, so essentially just the sum of these divided by 11, is $42 a day. So if I go down 1 standard deviation, I'm at 28. If I go up 1 standard deviation, I'm at 56. So if I land a P&L day like today, 62.50, which is over that, outside of that, I'm pretty good. But it is below my average green day, so I would consider twos. I'd consider twos there because I am trying to get that daily average green day up. Like I said, only 6 weeks trading the strategy, still figuring it out. But yeah, that's it. And I said full transparency here, my expenses, I spent $1,600 on combines in my life. But Here's the one thing YouTubers never show you this. This is how much I've made in affiliate marketing. 25 grand. So if we think about it from a YouTube influencer type, I've spent $1,600, but I've made 25 grand. So, and payouts we'll save because I'm about to make a video on that. But Dave, back to what you're saying, like, yeah, I like looking at numbers and I like being systematic, and it helps me, like the same reason that I have TradeZilla, right? It's the same reason. Like, I want to track all of that data. I want to know what all of that data is. So that's why I track it, right? And yes, that's also an affiliate of mine, but that's one of those like investments in yourself, just like getting level 2. Like even Bookmap. Bookmap's pretty expensive, and I don't think everybody needs Bookmap, but when you figure out how to use it, and like I said, I was saying before with the Bookmap, if we look now, we have order blocks above and below. This thing's just going to trade flat. Until one of those order blocks begins to overpower the other, it's just a way for me, it's just more confidence for me to stay patient. But if you don't know what you're looking at and you don't know how to use it, then yeah, it's just an expensive, like I don't put the bubbles. Everyone does the bubbles. Here's the bubbles. Like I don't do the bubbles. The bubbles are just dumb to me. So I turn the bubbles all the way off. This is just the bid-ask line, and it just draws a nice line for you. Yeah, it's crazy to have a 1,700 point range when what's the ATR? 872 is the ATR on that? Nuts. And then I think, well, yeah, was it 200% ATR on the ES today? 122. Yeah, 265. But like from a practical standpoint, much better opportunity, especially being inside Friday's range. Much better opportunities on the ES today. I'm just getting a little harder for me to trade that. Where is the ES now? It's probably down around me up as well. Yeah, why is I can't go, my little grabber on the bottom ain't working. Won't let me just scroll quickly. So I gotta do these click and drags. All right, there we go. And you notice there two different shades on the ES because I kept screwing up like what chart I was on. So I had to make this one slate. This one's black, this one's slate. Because I'd be looking at this chart and thinking they were the same, and then I'd enter trade and I'd be like, oh, it didn't pop up here. So now I make sure that both of them are the same color. That's just because I'm slow. Yeah, when I tried to stream on my Mac, my CPU usage would be like 80%. Yeah, like look at that 46,400. It's a pretty good line in the sand right there. I mean, essentially, this is the range for today, which has been the trend of March, right? It's barcoded pretty much every day in March. Nice tight ranges up and down. Oh, that was a good movement day. It was fun opening the charts and seeing that candle. Like, Jesus, what is going on there? I mean, we have VPOC way down here from yesterday, so that's probably not going to, I think it would take something pretty extreme for us to break out of this range by the end of the day today, right? Probably agree with me there. I wasn't expecting that Apex video to get 10,000 views. I don't even think I've had 10,000 views on my main channel in a while. Those were some main channel numbers. Adam, if you're still here, are you in the bracket? Are you in the March Madness bracket with TDG? Oh, I'm not a sports guy either. With the Bears hat on, I'm not a sports guy, but I was like, I just picked favorites, and I think I'm in like second place. I'm like, I'll just put in favorites, hope for the best, and I mean, I did the trade room trial because I'm a teacher during the day, so it's hard. And I was like, I'm gonna do it over the summer. I'll hop in there when I can actually pay attention and be present in the group. And so I was like, all right, there's only 20 people in it. The statistics of me just picking favorites and maybe having a shot at the top 3 and getting myself into the group as a prize and not having to pay for it this summer. So that's why I did it. But I didn't watch one game this weekend. I didn't. I think I went to my buddy's on Friday and he had it on. But my students this morning, I teach seniors, they were all like, "Oh, can you believe Florida?" I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they're like, "Oh, they were number 1 seed." I'm like, well, then I definitely had them in the Final Four, but I'm pretty sure I had Duke to win because I went to Arizona State University, so I couldn't root for Arizona. Couldn't do Michigan because I'm not a huge Dave Portnoy fan. Being from New York, we don't really love the loud Massachusetts people very often. So I was like, all right, it's either Duke or Michigan. And then I just went with Duke. I don't know why. Just went with Duke. I played lacrosse as a kid, and they always had a good lacrosse team, so I went with Duke. But yeah, that's how I pick my brackets. Just personal vendettas against Arizona and against Michigan. And man, with this system, I love how like quote unquote bored I feel. I love it. Just love just sitting here and my next thing to figure out is I'm going to figure out how to get like some lo-fi music in the background. I have music in my ear right now, but I don't necessarily know how to put it in the stream, and it's going to be hard to watch, but I always felt like I needed to be in a trade. I really did. I just always felt like I needed to be in a trade, and I just do not feel that way anymore. It's so nice. So nice. Yeah, back in the day, this would have had to have been a long for me. Right? VPOC trend. Yesterday's high. I guess maybe when you get better at this is a good long spot. But I'm just not there yet. I'm just okay with not fiddling in the middle. But I can see, look, that's a ton of confluence right here. If you would have got in down here, that would have been a pretty good trade. Just not ready for it, especially being up $62 on the day. Maybe I can go live on Mondays and Fridays when Rod doesn't go live. Yeah. I know. I kind of feel the same way as you. And that's, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is when I personally can take those stabs. And I think the problem with me then becomes how to manage that risk, right? Like, because yeah, there's definitely in here, right? I could see myself drawing this out and being like, okay, that looks pretty good, right? There's been some support there for sure. But then we see this. So I'm like, all right, we have that value area low. Yeah. So that's, I guess, right here. So maybe what would it be then? Could we go long here? But then, like I said, I go long there, but then I also want to go long at value area. So then where does the stop come, right? Because then we're just coming closer to the +1, the -1s when I want to go long again. So I think the issue with me seeing all of this and not going long off of it is I don't know how to manage where the stop would be. Like where am I in trouble here? Because this looks like a great place for longs. Value area low looks like a great area for longs. Down here at this triple bottom looks like another great area for longs. And then I guess all the way down to Friday's VPOC is also, I don't know. So I guess what I could do is I could wait for value area low and I could get an ed there and maybe just target that scalp back up to VWAP and then have another ed down here. I feel like I would be more comfortable going long up into into VWAP than trying to bounce off of it. Oh, he does $50? Oh, okay. But he mostly trades the NQ, right? I think, yeah, right. He's mostly the NQ. I guess the fixed stop loss, I could do that. And then right, all these new, what does he say? The situational fluency. I guess like if I had a bigger green day, I could maybe take that. If I was up $120, right? Maybe I could take that with a tight stop of 50. All right, if it doesn't work out my way, Yeah, $50 I feel like it happened quick on the NQ. Yikes. But we'll see. Like there's like look at this. What drawing tools? Like what is this gonna be? Where are we going? Where are we going? Are we going up? Which would make the lawns pretty nice. Right? Because we got room all the way up to what? Maybe this untested wick on the 30-minute? And head all the way up to there. And I tell my kids this is the TV that I watched. They're always like, what are you watching? I'm like, TV. And they're like, what is this show? And I'm like, to be honest, to me, it's my favorite show. See, but look, all right. So now if we see, remember before I was saying I use the Bookmap as like where orders coming in. Look at what just happened here. And then look, once we broke out of that, hey, we're going to be balanced with orders on both sides and just chop back and forth. As all these orders start to play onto the books, they just act as a magnet. And there it goes. There it goes. So now it's like, yeah, I think we go up and see this untested wick now. Go see 880. Oh, that makes sense. I have a guitar. I don't think you can see my guitar hanging on the wall. No, with my photo. How do I stretch my photo? No, that's a weird stretch. I want to go this way. There it is. It's an Ovation Celebrity. That's what I like to play from time to time. That's why when I saw the guitars, I was like, oh, I know that name. I know that name. Yeah, before kids and everything, I had all like the expensive Martins and stuff. And then they kept wanting to touch them and play with them. And I was like, all right, I think that I've had that celebrity since high school even. I think it's a 1998, 99 celebrity. So did we just say it's probably going to go up and try and touch this wick? And there it goes. There it goes. Love it. Yeah, see, like I love if it happened quick, like before 3, value area high, right? Value area high, break this, was it quadruple top? Actually, there's like 5 wicks up there. Have it come up here, align right with the +1, +1 short, value area high.
Order submitted.
That we can play that.
Order submitted.
That we can play for sure. We'll see what happens. I find when I attach it to the indicator, I find that it definitely lags my copier. Like whenever I have a huge lag in my copier, it's when I have them attached to the indicator. I don't know why that is, but it's weird. So now I kind of just have to kind of watch it. Make me a little taller here. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Still learning this. There we go. Bear down. Bear down. What do we think? Do we go up and hit it? Are we hitting +1s again today? Oh my gosh, look at that block on the Bookmap. What is that? What level is that? 860? It's right here. Let's see if we go up and hit that 860. Nothing below. So like I said, with nothing below, historically, like what this thing does for me is just, it's not an entry. It's not like, hey, let's go long because of this block up here being a magnet. But if I was long, I would feel very, very comfortable. If I think of it like kind of like how we're using volume profiles, like this is definitely a gap in the volume profile to me, like with the same like expecting of the type of movement. Yeah, crude is down, yeah. Yeah, see there's some stuff popping on the map. But then we just got the clean books down here. What is that? 760? So that's pretty much right, that swing low. See if we get a response off of that here. Oh, look at those that just came on the books. This popped up and shot straight down. So it doesn't always act as magnet, sometimes as resistance. That's kind of why I can't really use it for entries or exits, because I found it not to be like incredibly reliable. Go down. Is that what Rod always says? Go down. Go down. No wick on this 30-minute candle yet, which would be kind of nice. 20 minutes left on that candle. Come up, play here, and then see if we can get a wick down to the T line. That would be interesting. Yes, pretty much right in the middle of that deviation too. They're diddling in the middle there. So same like on the ES, Friday's high, VPOC right there. That kind of looks nice too. Add there, add there. All the places to enter. Thanks so much. 10 people here. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Small channel. I didn't think anybody would show up. I'll start scheduling them out so people know. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hop on today. Excellent emoji usage. Was it a shield? What's the one in the middle? Is that an eyeball? I will say I've been watching people like stream for years, and I talked to one guy who streams every morning, and I'm like, dude, it is harder than it looks to stream trades. He's like, yeah, it's so hard, especially when you get blitzed. But he had a $20,000 day today, so that was a good day for him. Oh, the evil eye. I play the New York Times connections, and like the evil eye was in there the other day. Like things that affect luck. It was like a rabbit's foot. Forget what the other ones were. Wishbone. One was the evil eye. There's another one. But yeah, those are the connections last week. Is my background... Oh. Oops. Go down. We want a C+1. It's nice to see a green day in the market. I luckily don't go on the internet too much, so I don't get all the stuff that's on the internet, but it's nice to see a green day. No, that's usually when I'm commuting to work, actually. I really opened my charts for the first time at like 8:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, 8:30 Central. I try and sit on my hands till 9:30, but if I'm being honest, it doesn't happen very often. Yeah, I do remember that life. I do remember that life. I took one. It just hasn't been filled yet. I'll even take another.
Order submitted.
2. I just gotta wait for them to get filled. It says it. This is a sell. That's a short. Down below is a long. I'll say back in the day, this was definitely a long for me. But that was more like me needing to feel like I need to be in trade. But we definitely have resistance becoming support. There's plenty of times where I'm like, oh, I would have went long a month ago. I would have went long there, or I would have went short there, and it works out. But there's also more times, which is why I'm sticking with this, that I've said I would have went long there and got stopped out, or I would have went short there and got stopped out. I found that 20 $60 days on the month is way better than the swings and highs and lows of what I was doing, especially copying across 10 different accounts. 6250 is $625 on the day. It's more than I make in my W2. So yeah, I'd agree. it, it's gonna be. We definitely need a little bit more. Let's go, but then the ES probably wants to get up into it too. It's crazy how different the Dow and the ES can be, or how similar they are, but also how different they can be, just especially as far as like their ranges are concerned. I know, what a relief not having the Nasdaq up. I don't even care what it's doing. I sell options with Tesla. That's all. That's all I really need from like the Nasdaq stuff. Options with Tesla is my YOLO, which I am getting crushed on Tesla puts right now. Actually, how bad is that today? Let's see how bad it is. Is Tesla green? I have an April 17th expiration, so it's not that bad. 405 strike. Oh, it's great. 831. Yeah, I know, and I love seeing that. It's like just going on and checking out what Caterpillar's doing, Like, oh my gosh, do you hear the big news of Caterpillar really driving the Dow? I mean, I if you think about like from a volatility standpoint, if you look at the average range of the Dow, the ES, and the Nasdaq, the Dow moves with less range. So I guess you have to define like I don't recommend anything. Nobody should day trade. Nobody should do this. You're gonna lose all your money. But if you were trying to limit risk, which is always my number one concern, you limit risk with less volatility, and there's less volatility in the Dow. Simple as that. And I mean, we could see it here. So if we look at just the 7-day range for the Dow at a micro contract, which is 50 cents. So that means that if you got in at the very bottom and it went all the way to the top, you lost 400 bucks. So it's a $400 range on one micro. Where if you take the ES and you multiply that one micro by 122, it's going to be more. And if you take the range of the NAS and then you multiply that by one micro or one mini or whatever you want to do, right? The range value of the Dow is less, which I think is why I would say when you're starting out and you can't handle the swings, definitely the Dow's the place to be. And I will say going from the NAS, trading the NAS for 2-3 years and blowing up accounts and being successful here and going on streaks and runs, when I went to the Dow, it was so boring and dry. It's like watching paint dry. I mean, like we're doing right here. Like this is not like full blown excitement, even though it says entertainment purposes. I can understand not being entertained. The entertainment value needs to come from the education. So, but once I got used to the Dow's movement and it wasn't so much boring anymore, it was more methodical and planned out. That's when I opened up the ES, and then the ES had a little bit more movement, a little bit more volatility, a little bit more swings. So now I can, if I'm feeling a little edgy, I go to the ES. But the Dow is first and foremost. If I take 20 trades a week, 17 of them are on the Dow and 3 of them are on the ES. And as I mentioned before, I traded the ES this morning just because it was not out of range. It was not out of Friday's range up where the Dow was, and I don't want to go short outside prior day high. Just don't want to do it. So that's why I traded the ES. Yeah, I feel like Cat they felt that, and so does everything else. The one thing I do like about Caterpillar, since like the AI stuff, is like we're gonna need trucks. Now, is AI gonna drive all those trucks and do all those trucks? But I mean, Cat is. My long term. I just hold the S&P 500 for like my net worth stuff. So I definitely don't look at any equities, to be honest. No, I don't even know the Terrafab. I don't know what that is, if I'm being honest. I don't look at the news. Like, I probably should more, but I feel like the news has made me bias in the wrong direction more than it's ever made me right. Like if I've ever gone into a day like, oh, we're going to dump or we're going to pump, it's always because of like something I read. Not to mention, who the hell knows what you can even trust or whatever. I find that the news distorted my ability to look at the market cleanly because it just set unrealistic biases. Right on. Yeah, I mean the Dow, it's boring, but and also too with it being quote unquote boring, like I got a real job. So like I'm usually trading while I multitask during the day. So the ability to trade a micro and then add a second micro if I need to, and then go to $1 a point, right? It allows me to put that on the line, step away, go do what I have to, teach my classes, and know that even if I hit, I'm going to come back and there's a really good chance that I'm not going to be screwed. Like it's not going to hit this +1 and then in most cases rip in a place where I'm screwed. Like even if I got in, let's call this for round sake numbers. Let's just call it 4,700, right? My next ad, regardless, is going to be at 47,360. So when it gets up to 47,361, if I'm here and I'm in class, if I came back and I'm getting ready to add again, I'm only down $150. So that's very, very manageable for me. And I'm going short again here anyway. So I don't have to worry about necessarily like my stop loss until we're way outside. In the video I posted last week or so, like I talked about like when I enter a trade, I have to think about where my ads are going to be. So right now, like here, where I usually are going to look at my ads according to the 30-minute chart. So if we go back to, let's go to the ES, for example. So if I wanted to enter here, I'm probably going to look to enter again here on the 30-minute at this wick, and then a third ad And then we get to a spot where I start to think about my max loss on the day. But on the Dow, I'm here. I'm not going in again until +2. Now, if we see where the +2 is even on this range, it's way up here. So look at that on the 30-minute. It makes you realize how far away that is, how much time it would really take to get there in a normal trading environment. So the ability to, like I said, set this, walk away, and know that one of two things is going to happen when I come back 30, 40 minutes later after teaching a class. It's either going to hit this and be working its way towards VWAP. It's going to come back up here, and I'm going to be looking to add anyway. It's going to come down and hit the -1s. Great. Same exact philosophy, just on the other side of VWAP. And yeah. So that's another reason why I just like it. If I was just sitting in front of the computer all day, maybe it would be different. Right? I don't know if I could sit like this all day. But I'm never sitting. Like I'm at work, I'm putting the order on the line, I'm going to make my copies. I'm putting my order on the line, I'm grading tests, I'm grading labs. Like my job is number one. This is secondary to that. So yeah, the Dow also just allows me to do that where when I was in a NASDAQ trade and the bell's getting ready to ring, I'm like, I got to get out of here because I'm not going to be able to watch this. And with the NASDAQ, you can come back 40 minutes later and just be getting eviscerated. It's just easier. Definitely. It definitely does. It definitely does. And like if I knew I wasn't going to be coming back to the market or my screen for hours, that's different. But I know I teach 40 minutes and I can kind of keep an eye on it and definitely maybe press my phone every once in a while and look at TradingView and see exactly what's happening there. That's definitely a thing that could definitely happen. Well, like this was early in the morning, like 7:30 in the morning. Man, if you were long here, what would you even do? Like honestly, if you were long at 7:30 in the morning, there's no way you're holding this whole candle. Maybe you targeted prior day VPOC, which would still be a pretty dope trade. Yeah, it's so fast. I'm just yeah. It's same reason I don't ride motorcycles anymore. They're fast and great, but it's to me, it's the risk isn't worth the reward anymore. I'm not somebody that like has to like post stuff on Twitter or on Instagram. Like I'm not. This is literally for the love of the game for me. And I only post on YouTube in case like I get hit by a bus or have a heart attack. My kids will be able to see that like I was trying to make content and have some fun. Oh my god. Yeah, like how much do you hold? Like, like there's no way to. I guess if I didn't see the velocity of it. Maybe like on a 5-minute chart, I'll go back and look later. But like, did it go up so fast that you almost, unless you had a target, like if you didn't have a target in place on the ES, like here's yesterday's VPOC, that would have been enormous. Like even just for shits and grins, like you were long down here and you were holding it and you're like, all right, I'll put one up here just to take it off. How fast did it go up that fast? Or like if you didn't have a stop, if you didn't have a take profit, did it go so fast that there was no way not to catch a major part of this move? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back and look at those candles later today. See, that's what I am curious because I woke up I only look at the 30-minute and the tick base. So I only would have known that. I only saw this. It was like, but I would have I'm going to go back and watch the replay later and watch how fast it did that. The whole move was a 5-minute candle. Jesus. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, and then I guess did it wick back? Did it bounce immediately? It looks like it must have bounced immediately because if you look at the volume profile, like it went up. But for that to be value area, like when do we have high of day and value area high in the same spot? It's madness to me. And then just nothing here. Like it just must have skipped through here like nothing. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get my kids off the bus. Thanks for this. I appreciate it. This was pleasurable. And now I don't have to make a recap of the day. Looks like we're going to be up $62.50 across 10 accounts. So $625. I'll take that any day of the week, twice on Sundays, but we don't trade on Sundays. I will definitely plan these out more. I'll let everybody know when when I'm going to do this. All right? Appreciate you guys. Thanks again. Have a good one.